All right, critical view 3 is an introduction to algebra, simplifying expressions. And let's talk about a little vocabulary here. So variable is just a letter used to represent one or more numbers. Coefficients, the number in front of that variable. Constants, like a number on the end. For example, here you have k plus 17. K is your variable. 17 is your constant. And there's two terms, right? The number of terms is separated by a plus or a minus. There's one term, there's another term. Two terms, k is a variable, 17 is a constant. Let's look at 2x minus 7. I also have, two terms here. There's one term, 2x is one term, and then the minus 7 is another term. So two terms. The x is the variable. X is the variable. The 2 in front of that is the coefficient. 2 is the coefficient. And the minus 7 on the end is a constant at the end, okay? Again, two terms total there. This one only has one term, negative 4b. Gosh, negative 4b is just a one term. The negative 4 is the coefficient. The b is the variable. All right, so this last one, 4 minus 5c. Who's the... you can go ahead and type it in the chat box. And go ahead and write the variable. How many terms? The variable, the constant, the coefficient. You guys go ahead and check your work on that, you guys. There's one term. There's the other two terms. Check your constant, coefficient, variable, and number of terms there. All right, exponents. So last time we talked about what an exponent means. We did like 2 to the third, which is 2 times 2 times 2, right? That was exponential notation for 2 times 2 times 2. We can do it with variables as well. X to the fourth just means there's 4 x's. Let's go ahead and rewrite this without the exponents. So you got a negative 3, and then you got 5 a's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it looks like I got 2 c's, right? Let's go ahead and rewrite this one without exponents. I got a 2, I got an x, I got 3 y's. 1, 2, 3 y's. And you guys go ahead and you can put it in the chat box there. Go ahead and write that one out. Let's check it. Okay, make sure you wrote it with 4 x's and 2 y's and that 7 out in front. All right, let's go ahead and translate some phrases into algebra. Sum or more than means add. Difference or less than means subtract. Product means multiply. Quotient means divide. Equals or is, right? So let's go the sum of 3 and 5. So sum of 3 and 5 equals 8, right? Sum of 3 and 5 equals 8. Let's go ahead and do the difference of 14 and 9. Difference of meaning subtract. Difference of 14 and 9 equals 5. The product meaning multiply. Product of 2 and 8 is means equals 16. Go ahead and type that one into the chat box for the you try it. The quotient of 27 and 9 is 3. Quotient of 27 and 9 is equals 3. All right, now let's evaluate some expressions. What if we have the quotient of x over y, but x is 288 and the y is 4? Well, 288 divided by 4 gives you, what is that, 72? So x over y when x is 288 and y is 4 ends up being 72. How about this one? Negative 10x plus y. When x is negative 2 and y is 8. Now I'm going to do my order of operations. So this becomes negative 10 times negative 2 is 20. 20 plus 8 gives us 28 for that expression. All right, how about this one? X squared, if x is negative 11. Negative 11 is then squared. All right, so negative 11 times negative 11, what's that, 121? Let's do a few more and then we'll have you guys try this next one. X cubed minus 2y. So x is 2, so I have 2 being cubed, minus 2 times y is 3. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, minus 2 times 3. Well, negative 2 times 3 is minus 6. So 8 minus 6 just ends up being 2. Now we've got a little absolute value on this one. Absolute value of x times y. X is 6, y is 3, minus the absolute value of x times y times z. 6 times 3 is 18. So we get the absolute value of 18 minus 6 times 3 times negative 2. I get 18 times negative 2 is negative 36. Let me go over here. The absolute value of 18 is 18 minus the absolute value of negative 36 is just a 36. So I got 18 minus 36 is negative 18 for that one. Why don't you guys go ahead and try 5a minus b. Go ahead and put your answer into the chat there. Go ahead and check your work on that, and have you guys go ahead and do those next two right there. X squared plus 5y. Put your answer in the chat. Good work on that, you two. Very nice. Now let's talk about like terms. Like terms are terms that have identical variable parts. So they have to have the same variable and exponents. Okay? So like the 9b squared, I'm looking for somebody else that has a b squared. So that one and that one are like terms. In other words, I can combine them. 9b squared plus 7b squared is 16b squared. And I say, well, how about, is there any other b cubed? No, there is not. So that just stays by itself, 10b cubed. Is there any other b's? Notice the b right here, just a plain old b. There's not. And now finally, is there any other constants? Nope, just a plus 3. So that's how you combine like terms. Again, they got to have the same variable and exponent in order to add or subtract them. So let's find the like terms in this expression. Is there any other x squared y's? Is there any other x squared y's? And I say there's not, so this just comes down. Now I'm going to look at, is there any other xy's? So there's a negative 3xy plus a 1xy. Well, negative 3 plus 1 is a negative 2xy. And then finally, is there any other xy squareds? There's not. That's the only one. Minus 8xy squared. All right, give you guys a second to combine like terms on this one. Is there any other ABs? Yes, 3AB plus 2AB is a 5AB. Is there any other AB squareds? No, there's not, so that just comes down. Is there any other a squared b's? No, there's not. That just comes down. And finally, is there any other constants? Nope, that's the only constant. All right, let's go ahead and simplify. Let's do the same thing here. Are these like terms? Yes, they are. They're both x's and they both are x cubed. So 6x cubed minus 4x cubed. It's like 6 bananas minus 4 bananas is 2 bananas. 2x cubed, right? Can you combine these? You bet. 4x squared minus 7x squared, negative 3x squared. They're like terms. Is there any other x's? Yes, 3x minus 2x is a 1x. Is there any other y's? Sure, 4y plus 6y is a 10y. Is there any other y squareds? No, there's not. Is there any other just plain old x's? No, there's not. And then it looks like that's a minus 9x squared. Minus 9x squared. There's no other x squareds. And finally, there's no constants either. So it's just a plus 8 on the end. Plus 8 on the end. Nothing to combine there. How about here? Is there any other r's? 13r minus 17r minus 4r. How about s plus a 2s? 1s plus 2s, 3s. Sorry, I got to kind of move you guys. Make sure I finish this before class is over. Is there any other b cubes? No. So minus b cubed, that's the only b cubed. Any other b squareds besides this one? No, that's the only minus 3b squared. And then there's plus a 10b. That's the only b. And finally, plus 11 on the end. That's the only constant. So there's nothing to combine there. I just put it in order, descending order of my degree there. Now, we can multiply anything. So let's go ahead and multiply this. This is the same. The associated property says I can go -8 if it's being multiplied by 6a to the 5th. Then I could go -8 times 6, and then a to the 5th. So -48, a to the 5th, right? So I can multiply those. Now, can you multiply these two? Absolutely. Multiply -5 times 3, -15, x to the 4. So adding and subtracting is where you have to have like terms, or with fractions, common denominators. Multiplication, you can always multiply, right? Now let's finally talk about the distributive property to finish things off. The distributive property says a times the quantity b plus c is the same as a times b plus a times c. For example, 3 times 2 plus 5. Now I know that you know 2 plus 5 is 7, so this is 3 times 7, or 21, right? But the distributive property says that it's also equivalent to 3 times 2 plus 3 times 5. In other words, 6 plus 15 is, guess what? It's also 21. So let's go ahead and use this distributive property here with this variable. So -9 times m plus -9 times 5. So I got -9m plus a -45, so minus 45. And let's do this one as well. So multiply the 2 through to both of those. 2 times 22y plus 2 times 3. So I got 44y plus 6. And finally, let's have you guys, well, we're kind of running out of time today, but let's go ahead and check these. I pause it and try these. But you got -2 times b plus a -2 times the -4. So -2b plus -2 times -4 is a +8. 3 times 10d plus 3 times -7. So I got 30d plus a -21. And that's it. And guess what? Out of time.